just those stuff that I would never have gotten involved with or knew what to do. I probably would have just gone with whatever the management agency said because I don't know no different. Welcome to our channel. My name is Megan, owner and founder of Luxe Studio. We're a wellness studio based here in the UK. Today we're going to be discussing the number one thing you need to do before opening your own studio. So about 18 months ago, I got the keys for this place and it was my first time opening a shop. There isn't a lot of information online of what you need to know. I feel sometimes people aren't that most up forth with all the details, and sometimes people don't do all the details that you need to do. A little bit of a story time of what I did. When I first started looking at shops, I was only 21 and I didn't sign a shop just then and there, but I did get a startup loan there and I only got it for £5,000, which would have got me hardly anywhere. It's doable depending on the space, but for me and this space that I did eventually take on, it wouldn't have got me very far. And then fast forward a couple years, I went self-employed and then it was time for me to open up my own place. I've always wanted to do it, but I needed to take the right path to get to the final destination of this place. And that for me was going self-employed, working in a rented room in another space and building my clientele. And then when I opened this place, I came to view it. I viewed it, I waited about a month, and then oh no, I didn't, that's a lie. I seen it online, I waited about a month to view it, and then once I viewed it, I straight away could picture how I wanted everything, how it was gonna look, and I could envision myself there. And from that point, I knew that I needed to get a solicitor. Now, a solicitor is the best thing that I could ever recommend. It makes me feel safe for the whole the amount of time that I'm here. I'm signed here for 3 years, and I know throughout that entire period that I could talk to my solicitor about it. I'll be safe in the current tenancy that I'm in and nothing is gonna change. And I think a lot of people don't get a solicitor because of cost, but I have never felt more happy to pay that amount of money because I felt so secure in all the information he was giving me. He was really fighting my corner. I think if you don't get a solicitor, and for me, this building is owned by a management agency, so they have their solicitors and they know what to say, they know what to do, and they know how to use it to their advantage. Now, for you, you need to have, for me, I didn't know anything about the legal side of things. I knew what I wanted, but other than that, I don't know anything else. So to have someone that I could speak to, a solicitor in my corner, fighting my corner, and making sure that everything is done in my best interest as well, is the best thing that I can recommend. I've heard horrible stories about how the landlord has decided to change the rent halfway through the tenancy, and because things haven't been legally binding, there's loopholes that they can go through. I know that mine is so solid. I know that there is a rent increase halfway through my tenancy. I know when it starts, I know when it finishes. I know all the nitty gritty details that I need to know. And also in the beginning, just little stuff that the management agency wanted me to pay up front and my solicitor would fight back on. Just those stuff that I would never have gotten involved with or knew what to do. I probably would have just gone with whatever the management agency said because I don't know no different. And especially with my first shop, it just makes you feel that much safer and clearer on what's going on. And it is expensive to get, anything legal is expensive to get, but he was clear straight from the start. He said he's not the most expensive, but he's not the cheapest, but he has been doing it, I think 40 years. And he was like a comfort blanket almost, just anything that I needed to say. And he also deals with all the back and forth. He'll deal with their lawyer and they'll be going back and forth. So other than me saying, yes, put my offer forward for the property, I don't need to do anything else until really I signed the papers and got the keys. It was quite a seamless process. It did take a good, I don't know, about 6 months before I actually got the keys. So it was a long process, but I remember him saying, and obviously this is thinking back, it's about 18 months ago, prices have probably, well, most definitely gone up, but he offered two services. One where he just reads through the contract, and then two, which is the one that I did, which was everything, start to finish, does the contract, edits the contract, makes the changes, deals with the lawyers, deals with the management agency, and everything you need to do. Now, I'd say you'd be looking at £1,500 upwards. Some might go up to £5,000, but I honestly think that it is the best investment that you can make starting out, because there's so much that can go wrong, and especially when you're new to it. He'll make you aware of things that you weren't even aware you'd be paying. For me, I didn't realise I'd be paying building insurance on the property, and that for me here is double my rent, and that will obviously happen once a year, gets renewed. He'll even deal with land registry and just making people aware that you're now occupying this building. So they do so much. You need to look for the right one, and definitely get one that's recommended if you can. But often they will just have these conversations with you free of charge in the beginning and just see which one you gel with. My mum actually found this guy, and she called about 5 different solicitors, also known as lawyers, in case you weren't aware, 5 different people, and she said, this guy, this is his price, but he stayed on the phone to her chatting for a good 20 minutes, just going through the whole process. And for me at that time, I was still working 2 jobs when I found this place. For my mum to take that over and kind of like scout through who was the best solicitor was really helpful, because I trust anything she says. So I went with him, and I was more than happy to do that. So that is my top tip. If you have any, if you are looking for someone and you're in the local vicinity, although I don't think they need to be in the local vicinity, then get in touch and I'll pass along his details. But that is my number 1 tip for going into a rental property and having a smooth transition into it. So catch us next time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're aware of any new videos we put up. If you want to give us a follow, then it's Luxe Studio on all platforms, and I will see you then.